What a better day to talk about deadlifts than deadlift day. Posterior chain day. I'll lift that for you. So, as you've seen with these new vlogs, you know, it's really boring when I just sit there talking, and I do my best talking when I'm moving and training and walking, and my best, you get your set?
Yeah.
My best series of all time, most watched series is Cardio Confessions. I think it's because it was dynamic, don't you think, Katie? Because we moved around, I talked, it was much more active than just, you know, sitting there. And also your brain works better when you're moving. So, and also, I mean, people say when you get into training vlogs, honestly, I don't think anybody wants to see just me training. I think it's just boring. So, what this gives us a chance to do is just get moving, get active, you get a little training footage, and being that we're fortunate enough to be able to train in our basement, we usually talk about this kind of shit anyway, or we talk about something. So what I figured we'd do is run the camera, get a topic, and go on with it. Now, when I choose to do hex bar deadlifts, the reason is you're in a neutral position. When you do a deadlift conventional with the bar, your cock's forward, that puts more stress on your lower back and your hamstrings, which is a great thing, unless of course, you know, you're getting up there in age, you want to get the benefits of a primal movement that includes bending, like a deadlift, but you don't want to have that extra stressor on your lower back. So it allows you to kind of get that without the, you know, deleterious stress of having the bar cocked to the front. Now, you might know hex bar deadlifts because essentially they're the only movement we know of that directly correlates to speed. In that, we can directly correlate an increase in your hex bar deadlift weight to your 40-yard dash time. That was done by Ryan Flaherty in his studies over at Nike. So that's something I use, and this is a lift that I use when I train at Campton United, the kids I train over there. And it's basically the backbone of our program. And my kids, I can say, Cammy for sure, Thomas probably now after seeing him today, fastest kids respectively on their team. Cammy, I could probably say one of the fastest girls in the state at her age. And we'll find out during track season. But hex bar deadlift, just form real quick. Get down, chest out. Your knees are not forward, instead you're hinging at the hip. Your butt's down. Scapular retraction, neutral position of the spine. And you pull up. Now the beautiful thing about deadlifts is there's not one part of your body that don't work. You have to tense your entire body to avoid it folding. You have to tense your entire body. Get your set if you'd like. Are you going up in weight?
Quarter.
Okay. You have to tense your entire body to avoid any kind of improper form. And if done correctly, the deadlift is actually a rehabilitative, not a dangerous movement. Of course, you have bad form, and I'll show you bad form. One time I was helping out these kids, and the coach was a great guy, he just didn't know what he was doing. At Pecatonica High School, they were trying to bring their program back. And I was in there, one of the kids is like, deadlifting, he's looking straight up at the sky, and I'm like, bro, you're gonna hurt yourself. When you look up, put your spine in a compressed position. Because when you look up, when you look down, it's extended. When you look up, it's compressed, because you're bending your neck back. So this kid's doing it. He said, no, the coach said, where you look is where the weight goes. I made a joke, and I'm like, so if I look sideways, will I fall that way? Well, in essence, you probably would. And I'm like, dude, you probably misunderstood him. Coach is a good guy. No way did he say that. There you go. So I get done correcting this form. Kid's deadlift form is on point. Didn't even think about it. I walk by the coach, and the kid's deadlifting as I told him to. He goes, no, bro, you want to look up like this, like this. Because if you look up, that's where the weight's going to go. So a neutral position of your spine. What you want to do is have an imaginary object 10 feet in front of you on the floor, and you look straight at it. So when I start out kids deadlifting, I will literally put a miniband or something colored on the floor so they can focus on it. That way they're trained to keep their head in a neutral position. Deadlifts are functional. if I have someone with a back injury, my goal is not to get them alternatives to deadlifts. My goal is to, how fast can I get them deadlifting? Because if you can deadlift, you're basically in a better spot and you're a better human being. Primal movements, such as the squat. The squat's a primal movement. Why? If you're in the wilderness, you don't have, remember, 60% of the world doesn't have toilets. So they're literally, oh shit, did I really use 2 different clamps? So they're literally, they have to squat to shit. Now, and you have to get down like this so your rectum's open. So, we're in a civilized society. So we sit down a lot for work. We sit down a lot for driving. Like if you're in 2 hours of traffic a day, you're sitting. When you're sitting, a lot of pressure on the hips. It's very unnatural. Sitting is extremely unnatural in the way we do it, the amount we do it. And unlike the Amish, we're not plowing fields all day. We're not churning butter. And that's why we're fat. And that's why our hamstrings are tight. We have lower back pain. 80% of people have lower back pain. That's terrible. How do you cure that? You strengthen your core, strengthen your entire body. Also, somebody asked me, what's the best workout exercise to build a big back? My first answer is all of them. But in reality, the one that elicits the greatest combination of muscular contractions, the most muscles worked, and that would be the deadlift. Whether you use a hex bar, use a conventional bar, that's fine. My thing is, I don't load as much as I load the back quite a bit with this. And also make sure your knees don't cave in. That's called valgus of the knee. So make sure your knees stay nice and straight. You're almost pushing out as you pull up. This is 415, this is a 55-pound bar. Man, those weights are loud. We should have got old rubber. You know I don't like using rubbers. Welcome to our house. So, stay in the same weight?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's go over some objections people have to deadlifts. 1 second. Hey Thomas, can you please cut that out? Cut out the barking. We're trying to film, bro. Thank you. See, parenting. So, people say deadlifts will make your midsection bulky.
Yeah.
To a point, they're somewhat correct, where you are activating your core. However, it's not gonna make you bulky in the fact that it's gonna, pull out FPV Pro, make your organs grow. You'll just see deeper, more chiseled abs and obliques. And honestly, let's look beyond the whole aesthetics, okay? If you look at your deadlifts, proper hip hinge, your bending is actually perfect form. And so will it make your waist bulkier? It will cause overload and hypertrophy of your abdomen. Absolutely. Is that a bad thing? Absolutely not. Because you see a lot of skinny guys, they have underdeveloped abs. And that's why some skinny guys have no abs. Because they have no abs. They literally have no muscular hypertrophy there. Whereas you get power lifters like Eddie Hall, who deadlifts 1,000-something pounds, and he can be at 12% body fat with visible abs. So I think you just have to look at it as you need to have your abs functional, strong, because your abs are a direct antagonist to your back. And what deadlifts do, it forces both of them to contract nearly equally. So you don't have, so you don't have an imbalance in your ab to your back. Because an imbalance will pull one way or the other, create more stress on your erectors, on your back. And that's not a good thing at all. So, a lot of people are scared to do deadlifts. They're a scary exercise. When I train young women, we usually don't put it down. we usually pick it up and drop it. And the reason we do that is because when you're working on speed, you want to work on the concentric movement, the concentric portion, which is coming up. The eccentric is what causes muscle damage. Whereas for bodybuilding, I want muscle damage to elicit overload or hypertrophy. For a performance athlete, I want to elicit as little muscle damage as possible while eliciting the largest load on the posterior chain that I can, so they come back the next day and perform their sport. So this is actually my max set. So what I usually do, I'll do 135, 225, 315, I'm sorry, add 10 to that, 325, sorry, 415, this is 505. And then I'll back down and do 3 sets of 315 for 5 easy reps, just to add some volume in. And then I'll add in some other posterior movements.
Drop the weight.
Yeah, but usually girls are so afraid to drop the weight. It's loud, it clangs.
No, I mean like put less weight on. I'm done.
No, I was talking about.
Drop the weight. Okay.
I was talking about. So, girls are afraid to drop weight. Where boys, they just want to drop shit and hear loud noises. Weights are scary. Picking heavy stuff off the ground is scary. So the thing is, lift within your means, but always aim to improve. Now, I'm at a point now, Marc, why don't you improve? Well, I've lifted over 700 pounds on a deadlift. But, you know, I'm past that. Right now, I'm trying to maintain. I don't need to grow any bigger. And honestly, once you overload to a certain level, it just becomes a higher injury risk. So that's when you start experimenting more volume, less volume, increasing volume, periodization. Because, look, I don't need to deadlift 1,000 pounds. I've hit over 700, pretty happy with that. Here's my master sets. Let me just breathe for a second. I got a fort.
Are you serious?
I'm gonna hold it. I did, but the weights were clangy. So, yeah, I know, you'll follow me. So basically what I'll do, I'll drop down to 315 next set, 3 easy sets of 5, then I'll do something else. I split my legs into 2 days. I have a quad dominant day and a posterior chain dominant day. Today, obviously, posterior chain dominant day.
Take a breath.
Now, posterior chain dominant day is gonna be hamstring based. I don't like leg curls or leg extensions. If I do leg curls, it's gonna be the floor slides or with an exercise ball. So, leg curls, leg extensions especially, puts too much pressure on your ACL. I think it's a horrible exercise, the stupidest exercise in the gym. Leg curls, in my experience, I don't have any studies, they really, if you're prone to sciatica pain, it will exacerbate that.
For me.
I learned that from Katie. So I've taken those out of my program. A lot of weight to load on one axis of the body, on one joint. Leg extensions are literally putting all that weight on your knee. It's not good. A lot of people look at squats are bad for you, so let's do leg extensions instead. Probably the stupidest shit you could possibly do. So on my posterior day, I'll do what I just said. This straight leg deadlift, single leg deadlift, single leg, straight leg deadlift, Romanian deadlift. Because when you balance, you're activating all the muscles you don't usually work. Now my quad dominant day, I should probably film that some of it too. I usually do squats. I always do squats. Squats, then I'll do pistol squats, Bulgarian split squats. Sometimes I'll do, I've been doing them lately, the fucking glute things, what are those?
Glute bridges?
No, yeah, the glute bridges. Stuff like that. For some reason I'm blanking. I thought exercise was supposed to make us smarter. And just in case you're wondering, I get a lot of messages from people who, you know, people want to train with me. I really don't want strangers in my house. And I train here, my wife and I, just talking about how to rearrange our schedule because we ran out of time again. We train at home because not only, you know, I just got back from LA meeting with my partners at Ambrosia. What an amazing line.
Am I gonna go or are you just gonna take?
You got this. I'm just moving my shit back.
Oh, I thought you were.
So, met with my guys in Ambrosia. I was in LA, but we have Ambrosia partners and Pump Chasers. Provide them all those different brands.
Outright.
Omega Supreme, the Outright bar, which is blown up. I'm meeting with convenience stores now.
Things are just a little crazy right now.
And I also coach for 4 hours a day at a soccer academy. I'm up at 4 a.m. every morning and don't get home. And I go to Campton. I get there at 4 p.m. so I leave at 3:30. And then I don't get home till like 8:30. So I ain't got time to go to the gym. So we train in the basement. And I gotta tell you, my physique is better now than it was when I competed. And it's amazing. Just for you guys wondering, I never go a workout without machine fuel, which are intra-workout branch chains. As you guys know who follow me a while, I'm the one who pioneered branch chains. I created Extend back in 2004 with my team at Salvation. And so BCA during training, as far as eliciting lean mass gain, fat loss, in my opinion, it's still a top 3 supplement right up there with creatine. You know, I would never go a workout without my machine fuel. Katie always has in her cup. Just take 2 scoops during training. It comes out to like 20 bucks a month. So worth it, and it's delicious too. You know, in fact, let's do this. So coupon code for 10% off machine fuel off of this video will be, coupon code will be Basement Dead. Basement Dead. So that is the coupon code for machine fuel, Basement Dead. And it'll get you 10% off, just so you can try it. It's only like 22 bucks for a 30 serve. That takes a good, you know, couple bucks off. Good chance to try it over there at Tiger Fitness. So here's my first back off set I just do for volume. This is hard, by the way, after all that shit. So I got 2 more. Machine fuel is something I swear by. I know there's been a lot of shit on BCA versus EA. I'm not going to bring that up. No need to, we've already stated all our positions. And it's just bullshit. I disagree. If you want to believe me, you can believe me. If you want to believe them, believe them. I still love it. Here's the thing, guys. What? You're still going.
I know.
I own multiple companies. I might actually have an EAA. You know, you guys don't know that. So I still believe in BCA. So while in the future I might sell an EAA, I'm not saying I will. BCA will, unless something drastically changes in the data. I've been with this since 2004, and I'm staying with BCA. Just improve the formula machine fuel with all the added extra goodies. And I love the coconut water powder with the electrolytes. Fantastic.
Hey, you're gonna talk for 10 minutes.
How long's it been?
Probably like 30. Holy shit.
Well, let's say. So that's it, guys. We're gonna finish this off. Deadlifts are the best full body movement you can get. Increases speed, increases your back health and integrity, increases your power, helps you build a bigger, stronger, better back. If you're not doing deadlifts, you should. That's not a game.